Well, hello, welcome to another video on the channel. A bit of an exciting one today. So I am at a lake that I'm not going to mention, mainly because I've spoken to a few people around this lake and they do not want people to really know where it is and the stock that it has, or some of the fish that it has, let's put it that way. It is a park lake. It's just outside of Hampshire sort of direction, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It really does. Just watching a heron over to my right hand side. So yeah, I'm going to try feeder fishing, float fishing, and see what I can catch. I roughly know some of the stock that's in here. There is roach, rudd, rain as it turns out, bream, tench, by the sounds of it, some very special carp, and catfish. So unlikely to hook a catfish with these tactics, and if I do, it's probably going to be fairly interesting to get them in. Catfishing this lake, which is a fair few acres. I think it's 15, 20, 25 acres. It's a big reservoir kind of place. I'm situated in one of the arms that come off it in a corner. I'm hoping that there'll be fish in here. It's not just because it's close to the car. Honestly, it's not. It is. I'm not gonna lie, that is part of it, because this is a park lake, so I can't be doing a load then going back to the car. It's just not worth the risk. Whatever I bring has to be in one trip. So yeah, join me, see what we can catch. Literally into a fish in seconds. Didn't even have time to move the float about it. What have we got here then? I think this is a roach. Right, first fish, and look at that. Beautiful, beautiful roach. I had to check then. It's got a bit of slime to it, so probably got a little bit of bream, but as a first fish, within 2 seconds of the float going in, that is excellent. Now, one thing I didn't bring was my big fishing towel. I have a flannel, which could be interesting. Right, let's see if there's anything else out there. I'm assuming there will be. That can't have been a fluke. Fish number 2 has lowered the stamp slightly. Quite a lot, actually. Another roach. Ooh. There we go. Cracking little fish. This towel is going to reek. Yeah, it's definitely got some bream to it. I don't care. Fish is fish. route. That's a mess of that one. There's another one of these absolutely lovely roach. Look at that. Absolute stunning fish. I'm gonna lie, I could catch roach like that all day. Maybe not all day, but you know what I mean. Oh, I think in a minute I'm going to mix some ground bait up, get that rod set up, get some ground bait out, just so it's ready. I've been catapulting out maggots and sweet corn, so I've got plastic sweet corn on the feeder at the moment. And just feed a maggot with a few bits of corn in the margins. We'll see if anything comes out. Probably give the float another half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, whilst the feeder swim is building up, hopefully. Then yeah, we'll give the feeder a go and see if we can catch something else, something a bit different. Although you'll still catch roach on plastic sweet corn, so. But I'm not fussed. It's just nice to be out. Really is. It's a beautiful venue. Sitting out on this kind of wooden spit. Lovely. Right, I've made the ground bait up. Simple. It's actually the last of my fruit crush ground bait, which I cannot get again, with some tiny micro pellets in there as well. I'll put 3 handfuls out, roughly where I want the feeder to be. So I'll give that half an hour now maybe, and get a feed rod on it. See if we can pick up anything else. Kind of hoping not to pick up a carp, because I'm not using carp tackle. On the feeder rod I'd probably get a carp in as long as it's not ridiculous. My only worry is it seems to be very shallow in this bay. No more than 2.5 feet. So it will propel itself at a rate of knots, and there is a lot of snags in my swim. But we'll see. I'm not, you know, I think it's quite a hard carp water, so the chance of me catching one on a bit of fake corn on a flatbed feeder is probably slim. But you never know. I'm surprised no perch have come along yet. I assume there's perch in here. There's kind of perch in everywhere. This is a big, well, actually, for a reservoir, I think it's classed as. It's quite small, but it's still a sizable water. One can only try. Well, the float fishing had actually just died a death. Went from consistent bites, not landing them all, but lots of bites. Nothing's happened for about 20 minutes now, and I know that's not a long time, but that's long enough for me to get the feeder out, I think. And then I'll probably put a bit of bait in the margins. I'll keep putting bait in the margin. So that hopefully, if needed, I could return to that later. Where are we going to put this? Put that behind me. get in the way. Right, well, let's get the feeder rod set up, and then I'll show you the way that I do that, which is, to be fair, pretty similar to how most people do. Oh no. That was the middle bit of my feeder arm. Oh, that's literally just gonna... Okay, so it's not ideal. What can I do about that? Yeah. I don't even have any... I don't have any spares with me. No. It's starting to rain. When it rains, it pours. What I'm going to try and do, somehow, is lash it on. Don't think this is going to work very well, but I don't really have much option now because I didn't bring any others with me. Again, another thing that I seem to have lost since my trip to Angler's Paradise is my Guru feeder rest. I don't think this is going to work, but I will give it a go and report back. Well, that is kind of what I'll come up with. I mean, it's better than nothing, but I don't know if it'll last. I'll be annoyed if it doesn't work, I must admit. I love my float fishing. Don't get me wrong, but when you're on a new venue, it is quite nice to try a couple of tactics. I mean, I could touch ledger. Worst comes to worst. But my concentration's not great. I'm gonna go mad. There we go. A little past the joy. Casting's going to be interesting. Oh, we are in the tree. We are on the rod. Nice little donk. Right, let's see how the old iffy feeder arm copes. Not very bad. It's gone already. Oh dear. Touch ledger and it is. It's currently retreating. It is absolutely hammering down. And of course I've just checked the weather forecast, which I checked at whilst I was still awake at 12:10 last night. And it was all fine, but now 60% chance of rain till about midday-ish, and then it should drop to about 30, and then nothing. Doesn't help me right now. Not much I can do. Actually, I'm going to fold my seat down so I don't get that soaked. it did start to calm down a bit. Obviously, as I've sat back down again. The heavens have reopened. But there is only so much of this I'm going to be able to take because I'm getting drenched. My own fault for not bringing a waterproof. But then it wasn't going to rain. And to be honest, I need a new waterproof. I've had the same one for years now. I had a Corum one, but the zip broke, and then it kind of lost its waterproofness. So I went back to my old one, which as it turns out has fully lost its waterproofness. So I am on the hunt for a new one. Something very lightweight that can just go over the top of clothing. Any suggestions, let me know. Something that packs away nice and small, really. Might just go to like go outdoors or something like that and get like a thin waterproof jacket. That's all I need, just for times like this. It seemed to have completely shut the fishing off. I've got the float out now, but not that it was doing a lot before the rain, before I put the feeder out. Nothing's happening now. Well, it's eased off a little bit. Slight change of tactic for the feeder. So I've now gone with a plastic caster on the little Corum stop, and then 3 maggots on the hair. No. Got a fish on. Not quite sure what it's doing. It is a slightly bigger fish, I think. I reckon it's a bream. Come straight up onto the surface and started splashing about. It's got to be a bream. It's not really got a lot of fight in it. Oh god, there we go. You can see the plumes of like silk coming up off the bottom, so it's definitely got to be really shallow. Ooh. Now, there are many things that I thought this was going to be. Mainly bream. Possibly a tench. It was fighting like a bream. Ooh, swipe my camera. You know, it wasn't a very spirited fight of any description. But what I didn't think it was is what I've caught, which I will come to in a moment once I've found my disgorger. Yes, as I said, many things I thought this was going to be. Oh, get off the line. But this is not one of them. A little kitten. Look at that. Well, I never. Funny old bream. Oh my god. Yeah, that was very unexpected, and it just didn't fight at all, which for a catfish is very strange. But there he is. What else is in this lake? Let's slip it back. This is absolutely disgusting. I'm gonna have to start wiping it on my top, and then I'll take my top off. Not like that. Oh, I made a right old mess of my old breathing. Yeah, obviously I knew there were catfish in here, and up to a huge size, I believe, 70 odd pounds, I think, which is a monster. So I was very lucky that that was just a little kitten. It really didn't fight like a catfish. I've caught many catfish before, and I've caught a fair few that size. Maybe it's because I'm used to using a carp rod, big reel, big line. And when you're using a very soft rod, maybe it just kind of cushions it, I suppose. But well, the heavens have opened again. I'm getting soaked again. So I'm probably going to give it half an hour, and then I'm probably going to call it a day, because this isn't fun. I'm getting drenched here. But I've enjoyed myself, and that is the main thing. If I can manage to come out for a few hours, put a few fish on the bank, or even if I don't put a few fish on the bank, I've still had a good day. I'm still out of the house, I'm not working, and I'm catching most of the time. But that's going to be it for me today. I can't take any more of this weather. It is horrendous. But it's been a good day. Catching a catfish on a feeder. Who would have thought? My first time I've ever done that, that's for sure. A few fish on the float. What more can you ask for? A lovely few hours fishing, apart from this horrible, horrible weather. So thank you very much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.